When I started thinking about this, I knew I was going to emphasize the economy, that we had to get the economy going and moving. And I'll be laying out specific policies starting in about 10 days about how I think that should work. But I want to just mention that in the last 35 years, we've had 5 presidents, 3 Republicans and 2 Democrats. Each of our Democratic presidents inherited economic problems from their predecessors. I remember when my husband was elected, shortly after that, saying, you know, the deficit is much worse than they told us. I remember President Obama, after I helped him get elected when I dropped out after my primary campaign, and he called me and said, come to Chicago, I need to meet with you. I had no idea what about. And his first words out of his mouth were, the economy is much worse than we knew. There's just a pattern here, where the other side keeps using the same old tired, failed policies. They don't work, and then Democratic presidents have to come in and fix what was broken. So let's break that and have a Democratic president to continue the policies that actually work for the vast majority of Americans. I have this old-fashioned idea that, you know, you ought to look at the evidence. And if you look at the evidence, at the end of Bill Clinton's 2 terms, we had the longest peacetime expansion in American history with 22 million new jobs, a balanced budget, and a surplus that would have paid off our national debt if it had not been rudely interrupted by the next administration. And I'll say this, you know, when President Obama came into office, he was handed the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. And it was a dangerous time for our economy and our society because it could have gotten even worse. And I think President Obama deserves a lot more credit than he's usually given for making sure that we did not fall into that economic abyss any more deeply